You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I am back. Rodgers for Black and White Sports 2. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Like, comment, let me know what you think. No videos yesterday from me. My wife is in the hospital. Oh, man. I've got to go back up there after I'm done with this. So probably only one or two videos out on the channel today. Make sure you check out the live stream. John Matrix is going to run that over on Rumble this morning at 10 a.m. Central Time. And, of course, all of our audio is available from all of our videos on the podcast, and that's available wherever podcast is from. So we got two pieces of information here involving Russell Wilson this morning. And how the Packers viewed the Aaron Rodgers situation. Okay. And we've got the fact that Sean Payton looks like he is moving forward with that quote-unquote greatest hits plan that he talked about so publicly. And honestly, it got millions of views that sort of went viral that if he ever got his hands on Russell Wilson, he would put together what he called a Russell Wilson greatest hits package, and that is what the offense would sort of revolve around. Of course, there would be tweaks here and there, but you get the point. The best things he did in Seattle would be the best things he would do in Denver. It was pretty clear Sean Payton didn't really think that was being done when it came to Russell Wilson, in my opinion. So let's get to the Packers right quick and how they viewed Aaron Rodgers. And I'll point out just some key differences real fast. One, Russell Wilson is a lot younger than Aaron Rodgers. I think that's a big deal. Number two, the fact is, Russell Wilson not only is younger, but you've got him for more than, say, 2 to 3 years. In theory, nobody expected Russell Wilson to shit the bed in the manner that he did, right? Nobody saw that coming. Even though he had a more down year with the Seahawks, nobody saw that kind of drop-off happening. Oddly enough, and I heard this, I meant to mention it in the video the other day, but I had heard that actually, believe it or not, if Nathaniel Hackett would have made it another season with the Broncos, then Aaron Rodgers probably would have actually ended up there had they not done the Russell Wilson thing. So that was actually, oddly enough, had they stuck with Hackett, that might have still been on the table. I just don't think you can run a franchise like that. I don't think you can do the let's wait, let's hold off. I was very vocal about the fact that I thought the Dallas Cowboys should have went ahead. I like Mike McCarthy, but I would have canned him and gave Sean Payton the keys to the car if I'd have been Jerry Jones, because he loves Sean Payton. He's always wanted him to coach the Cowboys, and Sean Payton was a free agent. No way in hell I let Sean Payton get away if I'm the Cowboys. So that just gives you an idea of how I view that. Packers initially wanted a Russell Wilson-type trade compensation for Aaron Rodgers. And by the way, I'll be the first to tell you, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be better than Russell Wilson in the next 2 years. I do. But you can't play those kind of averages when you're talking about such a difference in age. What, about 6 years, 7 years difference in age, and how long they could potentially play. And again, nobody saw Russell Wilson having the drop-off he had. Details are now emerging from the Green Bay Packers and Jets trade involving star quarterback Aaron Rodgers. It now becomes clear that the deal was far from straightforward and involved a series of intense discussions and compromises between the two sides. According to a report from Brian Costello of the New York Post, the Packers initially sought a trade compensation akin to the blockbuster deal that sent Russell Wilson from the Seahawks to the Broncos during the 2021 offseason. By the way, a trade that looks like the Seahawks have won in landslide fashion. Like it's not even going to be close. But we'll see. We'll see. If Russell Wilson goes out there this year and the Broncos win 11 games and he's let's say, top 5 MVP kind of candidate, then maybe the Broncos can sort of rewrite some of that history. We don't know. The Broncos gave up an extensive package which included 2 first-round picks, one of which was the 9th overall, 2 second-round picks, a 5th-round pick, starting tight end Noah Fant, starting defensive end Shelby Harris, and quarterback Drew Lock. The Packers, inspired by the Wilson trade, set their sights on at least 2 first-round picks, drawing comparisons to the Lions trade with the Rams for quarterback Matthew Stafford in 2022. The Lions received the first 2 first-round picks as part of the deal. However, the Jets were not willing to part with such a significant package for a 39-year-old quarterback who might only play 1 season in New York. I believe he's going to play 2. I think from his press conference, I got the sense when he said, I'm going to be here for the foreseeable future. I feel like I can play into my 40s. I just feel like that sort of had more of a 2-year minimum feel to it. Consequently, the Packers eventually backed off of their demand for 2 first-round picks, but remained insistent on acquiring a first-round pick in the 2024 draft. Negotiations continued, and the Jets proposed offering a second-round pick in the 2023 draft and a conditional in 2024. The conditional pick would transform into a first-round selection only if certain conditions were met. However, the Packers were still reluctant to accept the offer. Wow. And, you know, a lot of people feel like the Jets got fleeced in that deal. Now, I've said, look, if he gives you 2 seasons of top 12 quarterback play with that defense and the weapons around, I think it's a pretty good trade for the Jets. I do. I think you kind of got to take a swing. They have been in quarterback hell forever. Nothing is working. I mean, can you imagine if something happens, Brock Purdy can't come back, and Sam Darnold goes out and throws 30 touchdowns this year for the 49ers? Can you imagine that? It will be the second quarterback, Geno Smith being the other one from the Jets, that went on to reboot his career once he got away from the team. I mean, so, look, the Jets have been in quarterback hell. I get sort of taking that swing. Let's do Russell Wilson and sort of the preparing of the greatest hits. And I wanted to combine these videos because, well, both of them had something to do with Russell Wilson. Payton has actually utilized this analogy on a couple of occasions since he said that to Colin Cowherd last year. It seems like Payton, Sean, wasn't just saying that for fun. It looks like he's actually implementing it in Denver. When you think of Russell Wilson's, quote, greatest hits as an NFL player, what you think of the most? You think of big-time throws to Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Doug Baldwin, and all of those other players through the years that Russell Wilson just dropped the ball into a bucket deep downfield. Russell has always been a good deep ball thrower. Man, Doug Baldwin was #underrated Doug Baldwin. You know Sean Payton is putting his money where his mouth is, because what did the Broncos do with their top pick in the 2023 NFL draft? They went out and selected Oklahoma speedster Marvin Mims. And there is a laundry list of things where Marvin Mims checked the boxes on. I mean, this could be a wildly underrated pick that turns out to be something for the Broncos. If the plan is to play Russell Wilson's greatest hits, then the Denver Broncos now have the means to actually do so. Not that speed doesn't exist in the receiver room for Denver, but with KJ Hamler recovering from injury and the team not likely planning on him playing a major role this season anyway, Mims gives you a chance to play Russ's greatest hits. You can't play Russ's greatest hits without a speed demon at receiver and a guy who can capitalize on those throws down the field. Mims is the guy. And that was predominantly orange.com. You've got to think that that's the plan. Mims, I think, is probably going to be the third wideout in that, right? Who knows, though? This kid is super fast. All right, he is super fast, and he could very much end up being sort of that Tyler Lockett, and that guy's underrated. In my opinion, that is underrated. That guy is, and just sort of seeing what's happened with Geno, you know, those receiver weapons in Seattle were real. All right, and it kind of reflected that with Geno's play as well. And with Sean Payton, sort of this mastermind offensive guru guy, I've said I think Russell Wilson bounces back. Do I think he bounces back enough to save his job beyond this year? I don't know, because I think he's got to be a borderline top 5, top 6, top 7 quarterback. He's got to have a hell of a year, I think, to save his gig in Denver. And why? Because of that damn contract. I think Sean Payton would love to shed that contract like a snake sheds skin. If you want to be just downright real about it, I think he'd love to get that massive, ridiculous contract off the books. Somehow. They'd probably take a dead cap hit, but you get the point. If he could trade that away, that contract away to some team, I don't know who the hell you'd get to take it, but, you know, the Broncos be willing to eat half the contract or something. We all seen how this has worked out in the past, and I don't know what they'd get back. But again, there's plenty of rumors out of Denver that Russ better flash, and he better flash quick, or it's going to be Jarrett Stidham time in Denver, because Sean Payton, he loves that guy. He likes Jarrett Stidham a lot. By the way, using the regular Black and White Sports logo, had to clean off the computer this morning randomly and lost my regular logo as collateral damage on this channel. I've got to cut it out, find it, and I didn't have time. I got to get to the hospital, so I wanted to get you guys a video out today. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.